officer or statutory citizen, judge. I'm a living flesh and blood man.
All right, you are the living flesh and blood man who's known as Robert Matson, correct? I've muted Mr. Matson's device because he won't stop interrupting me. Mr. Matson, what I'm trying to tell you is that we have discussed these issues before. You've raised those issues, I've moved against those issues, and ultimately you pled guilty of your own choice.
You're gonna do what you're gonna do. I mean, I've tried to talk to the courts and reason with the courts. I mean, if you're gonna sentence me today, then I just file for an appeal. I'm an objection to anything that happens today.
So he's not entitled to the 48-hour grace period.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any contact from Mr. Matson by the end of the day to use the sentence, he's going to issue benchmark for his arrest. His audio is connected now, so we are on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Robert Joseph Matson, file number 21-20513-FH. Today's the date set for sentencing in this matter. We are proceeding today partially by video conference and partially in person. Mr. Daly is here in person. Mr. Daly, would you like to place your appearance on the record?
James Daly, appearing on behalf of Mr. Matson.
And we also have Mr. Stevenson with us from Michigan Department of Corrections. And sir, you are Robert Joseph Matson, correct?
So, I'm a living flesh and blood man, attorney for a public officer or statutory citizen, judge. I'm a living flesh and blood man.
All right, you are the living flesh and blood man who's known as Robert Matson, correct?
Attorney for Robert Joseph Matson, which would be the all caps name.
Good morning.
Judge, there was something that I tried to talk to my attorney about. That before you let me out of the hospital, I was in the hospital or the jail. I was experiencing a lot of pain and trouble. The jail was not treating me properly. After I got out of the jail, I went to the hospital, and they hurried and rushed me to Toledo Hospital, where I almost died. Had I not been released from jail when I did, I would be dead in that county jail.
All right, Mr. Matson, we're here for your sentencing hearing today. I'm not really able to address issues of medical treatment while at the jail.
Well, I was just saying that there was something I agreed to.
Mr. Matson, don't interrupt me, please. The medical treatment that people receive at the jail is not within my purview, and I'm not going to address that today. So,
well, I just saying I was going to correct my
Mr. Matson, do not interrupt me, please. Have you had an opportunity to read and review your pre-sentence report?
I did with the secretary for Mr. Daly.
Have you had an opportunity to discuss your pre-sentence report with Mr. Daly?
I haven't had an opportunity to discuss it with him. I did with the secretary.
My secretary got a hold of him.
Mr. Daly, if you could just let me allow him to finish his answer. What were you saying, Mr. Matson?
I did with the secretary. I talked to her over the phone and told her everything looked good. And I believe Mr. Daly was supposed to get back a hold of me. I don't know if he got too busy or something else happened.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Matson. Mr. Daly, you wanted to say something on that issue.
Yes, my secretary contacted him in regards to the PSI. He said everything was right. He had no complaints about anything. I still tried to contact him back, didn't get an answer.
All right. So what we'll do is have, if Mr. Daly, if you'd be willing to step out into the hallway, we have an iPad out there that we can log into the Zoom session.
But I don't think he needs that. He's ready to be sentenced, Your Honor. You have any other questions, Mr. Matson?
Yeah, Judge, I think the court is making a big mistake here. I've not.
I appreciate that, Mr. Matson. and we've
I'm not
discussed
doing
it
any of
before.
my rights or immunities. I'm not a statutory citizen. I am sovereign. I'm not somebody who's under the
Mr. Mattson,
jurisdiction. I've never signed anything for
Mr.
the court
Mattson, if you don't
in the
stop talking, I'm
contract.
going to mute your device. Okay? I've discussed all of these issues with you before.
Okay.
And
Well,
you,
I object, but I mean,
Mr.
if you're going to
Mattson,
sentence me, that's what you're
all
doing.
right. I've muted Mr. Mattson's device because he won't stop interrupting me. Mr. Mattson, what I'm trying to tell you is that we have discussed these issues before. You've raised those issues. I've ruled against those issues. And ultimately, you pled guilty of your own choice to the controlled substance possession of narcotic less than 25 grams. And so I'm going to sentence you on that charge today. If you'd like, I will have Mr. Daly step into the hall and you can have a breakout session with him so you can speak with him about your pre-sentence investigation report. If you have questions or things that you want to talk with him about regarding that report. So I'm going to unmute your device now, and I want you to tell me whether you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. You want a breakout session with Mr. Daly?
Well, I've tried to talk to Mr. Daly before, I mean,
Mr.
about this.
Mattson,
And,
answer my question. Do you
yes,
want
sir.
a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not?
Your Honor, you're going to do what you're going to do. I mean, I've tried to talk to the courts and reason with the courts. I mean, if you're going to sentence me today, then I just file for an appeal. I'm an objection to anything that happens today. I was under duress when I took the plea due to my life was at stake.
Mr. Mattson, please answer my question. Do you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not?
Mr. Daly hasn't been much of help for me, Your Honor. So I mean,
that is not an answer to my question, Mr. Mattson. Please answer the question. Do you want a breakout session with him or not?
Sorry, Your Honor. It just ain't been doing me any help, no justice at all. I mean, I've already said what I had to say. If the courts is going to sentence me today, then that's what they're going to do. I don't agree with anything that's going on today. I'm sorry. It's just my life was at stake when I had talked to the courts.
All right, Mr. Mattson, please stop
yes,
talking.
sir.
So you refuse to answer my question about whether you want a breakout session with Mr. Daly or not. The law.
I didn't want
Mr.
Mr.
Mattson,
Daly
stop
as my
talking.
attorney. Yes, sir.
The record, I placed Mr. Mattson on mute again because he's continually interrupting me. Mr. Mattson, what I'm trying to explain to you is that you have the right to discuss your pre-sentence report with your attorney before the sentencing. I've asked you 4, 5, maybe 6 times now whether you want to have the opportunity for that breakout session, and you won't give me a simple yes or no answer. So what I'm going to do right now is ask Mr. Daly to step into the hallway. We'll set up that iPad. I'm going to put you in a breakout session with Mr. Daly in order to make sure that I comply with with your rights to have that breakout session. So at this point, I'm going to set that up, whether you want it or not, so that we have complied with that requirement.
Judge, I just had a repeat of him from the conversation you already had. I'm prepared for sentencing.
All right, Mr. Mattson, you've now had an opportunity to discuss the pre-sentence report with Mr. Daly. Is that correct?
No, he didn't want to hear me, Your Honor. He just told me that he was here to get me sentenced. I tried to talk to him about things. I tried to talk to him before we even went to court about things that was going on with my life and me about dying, and as far as being incarcerated in jail, which he didn't ever try to help me out, because if he would have did an investigation and known that I was in court and I was wrongfully put in jail. I told him I'm not a statutory citizen. I'm a constitutional citizen. I mean, he don't care to do anything to help me. All he cares about is just helping you guys out and get me sucked into the system, and it's wrong.
All right, for the record, I did provide Mr. Mattson with an opportunity with Mr. Daly in a breakout session. Mr. Mattson,
Yes, sir.
Satisfied with Mr. Daly and the advice that he's given you?
I'm not satisfied with the advice he's giving me. No, sir.
Do you wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or the relevancy of any of the information that's in your pre-sentence report?
The stuff that's in the pre-sentence report is directed to a statutory citizen. I'm not a statutory citizen. I'm a constitutional citizen. You cannot be a constitutional person and a statutory person at the same time, Your Honor. You have to be constitutional rights, which the court's designed to protect rights. So I was asking you, Judge, are you working as a banker or judge today? I mean, there's nothing to show that there's even a is there anything to show that there's even a contract between us? I mean, is there?
This isn't a contract issue, Mr. Mattson.
Well,
it's a criminal law
in order
issue.
for the crime to exist, Your Honor, there must be an injured party. Is there an injured party? I mean, in the constitutional rights, Sheriff is calling 481 F 945. In order for there to be a crime, there ought to be an injured party. If there's no injured party, there's no crime.
All right,
I mean,
Mr. Mattson, you're arguing the basis of your conviction. Again, you pled guilty to this charge. What I'm asking you is whether, Mr. Mattson, what I'm asking you is whether you'd wish to explain or challenge the accuracy or the relevancy of any of the information that is in your pre-sentence report. So is any of that information inaccurate?
Inaccurate as far as the person that reports they're trying to sentence in all caps names. It's not me. I'm a living flesh and blood man. You're after a fictional person.
All right. So with respect to that argument, what the court will say is that I will leave the information that is in the pre-sentence report in the pre-sentence report and deny what seems to be some kind of a request to modify the pre-sentence report.
The court has already rejected the flesh and blood man argument multiple times. But abandoning that belief would mean admitting the strategy failed, so instead, he repeats it. Psychologically, it protects his identity. Legally, it weakens his position with every repetition.
Based on an argument that doesn't state any cognizable legal theory about a difference between Mr. Mattson as a human being and Mr. Mattson as something else. So the pre-sentence report will stand.
Well, Your Honor, you never even explained to me what the jurisdiction was. I tried from the beginning to
Mr.
see what the
Mattson,
jurisdiction of the court is.
I'm going to mute Mr. Mattson again because he continues to interrupt me with a line of argument that I don't even know what to say about it. It just is, it's not a legal argument at all. It is some kind of fanciful belief that there's a difference between Mr. Mattson, the human being, and Mr. Mattson as some other entity, which is not recognized by the law, and I'm not going to entertain it any further. Mr. Daly, does the pre-sentence report disclose any prior convictions in which there exist any known constitutional defects?
No, Your Honor.
The probation officers calculated the minimum sentencing guidelines in this case to be from 0 to 9 months. Do you agree with that computation of guidelines?
I do, Your Honor.
Sorry,
I do.
Thank you. Before the court passes sentence, Mr. Daly, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of Mr. Mattson?
I've had the same conversations with Mr. Madsen the court's had. He's never wanted to talk about this case. He's always wanted to talk about what he perceived are constitutional issues. He pled guilty. He knew what he was doing. I do know that. I'm prepared to complete the sentencing now.
All right, Mr. Madsen, in a moment, I'm going to unmute your microphone and I'm going to give you an opportunity for allocution. That's an opportunity to say anything that you'd like to say on your own behalf before the court passes sentence.
Yes, sir. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
You said that I could say anything that I wish before sentencing.
You can.
I'm sorry, sir.
You can.
Okay. Yeah, yes, sir. Your Honor. I mean, before I took that plea, I told Mr. Daly that I wanted to sit there. I wanted him to sit there, get the cameras for the courts to prove that I was at the court date the day that I was put in jail, and said that that I wasn't in the court for a contempt of court. He said, and I told him I wanted to fight my case, but I had to be out because I had medical issues. Mr. Daly said that's fine and all, but if you stay here and you fight this case, they'll keep you in here for a year fighting your case. You will not be let out of jail. Your Honor, I couldn't do that. I was in major pain. I would have died in that jail. My proof is within the doctor's records in the hospital. I had a serious condition which would have left me dead within a week from the time that I took the plea. The following day after I got up, my wife was killed in a car accident. Because everything's been going downhill for me ever since. And now this with the courts. I don't feel that I've had a fair chance with the courts ever since I even started with the courts, because the courts has not proven jurisdiction to me. I've not written any papers out agreeing in the contract saying that the courts can have any kind of jurisdiction over me. I have not relinquished any sovereign immunities that I have. I just don't feel that there's been anything fair, which is not going to be with the court system. I mean, I've tried to say I'm not a statutory person who is within your jurisdiction. If anything, I'd be considered constitutional, but I'm not even under the constitutional laws, but I will use them if I feel necessary as a constitutional living flesh and blood man. There is no injured party. The only injured party would be the state's laws, which the state cannot be the prosecutor, the injured party, and the judge. Nothing's right. The court case either had been dismissed or moved to a higher court. And I wasn't going to sit there and be left in jail to fight my case for a year. I would have been dead. I'd been stupid not to sit there and just agree with a plea that I didn't even agree with in the first place, just to save my life. I don't think that's fair at all. It's not right. There's nothing but wrong here. It's injustice, not justice. I mean, the requirement for equal protection, I mean, treatment. I mean, there's form 05.0333, where terms are binding you and me together, Judge. There's nothing even sitting there stating that. I mean, you can't be a constitutional person and a statutory person at the same time. Either you're one or the other, and as constitutional rights is known in form number 10.002, and then your context, you have your statutory privilege form would be 0.0503. If you claim your privilege, statutory privileges, you surrender constitutional rights, which I'm not doing any of that. The definition of a public jurist is therefore deception, which is in form 05.003. 014. I've not had time to get my own paperwork together due to the hospital when I logged into their system because my Wi-Fi wasn't working properly on my computer. I couldn't draw up my own paperwork. I've been in nothing but severe pain. I've been able to move around and do much of anything for myself. I mean, I just don't feel that anything here is being done today is right, and it's not within the constitutional or the Bill of Rights. It's common law would permit. And if I ask you if you're working under the oath of office or as banker, you don't answer that. You don't tell me which jurisdiction we're under. I mean, these are all important things. I mean, for me to even provide an intelligent argument for myself, I have to know these things. It's guaranteed in the Constitution. I didn't even ask for this attorney. You assume that I didn't know the laws and that I needed an attorney. The attorney has done nothing for me but sit there and try to feed me to the system. The only system that I know is God and God's laws, Judge. If I sit there and swear an oath, because I've never taken no oath to any governmental laws. I'm not a public officer. The only one I've ever taken an oath to is God Almighty Himself. There's only one lawgiver, one creator, one judge. That's God Almighty. That's who I recognize. For me to sit there and agree to anything more than that would be me sitting there violating the laws of my God.
All right. In determining the appropriate sentence in this case, the court has considered the seriousness of your offense, your history, the principle of proportionality, the statutory penalty, the cost of confinement, the report and recommendation of the probation department, as well as what's been said on the record here this morning. The criteria and reasons for the sentence are the nature and gravity of the offense, the discipline appropriate to its commission, deterrence against repetition by you and by others, vindication for the law, and the protection of society. As indicated, with respect to these sovereign citizen or whatever the other arguments you're making are, we've dealt with the jurisdiction issue in the past. I've ruled on that on at least one occasion, probably multiple occasions, and that ruling is not going to change. You will have appellate rights if you want to pursue those. You're welcome to do that, but you have pled guilty in this case. You indicated during your guilty plea that you were not under any threats or promises or anything like that. And you indicated that it was your own choice to plead guilty. So the court's going to proceed with sentencing in this matter. The recommendation from your probation officer is that you serve 1 year of probation with credit for 29 days that you've served on this case. And that is, I think under normal circumstances, that would be an adequate recommendation with, he's gone. All right, we will, I'll give him a minute or two to see if he logs back in. I'm not exactly sure when he dropped out of the meeting. I have no idea if it was something he did on his own or if it was a connection issue. So we'll give him a couple minutes. For the record, I think it was 9:18 that I noticed that Mr. Manson was no longer in the meeting.
Looking for Mr. Manson? He was on this. Okay, thank you. That was the number I called him at. He wasn't at that number, it's at the hospital. They don't know anything about what he's doing there.
Oh, is Robert Matson there, please? Okay, who am I speaking with? Okay. All right, thank you. This is Mike Stevenson, probation. Okay, he had sentencing this morning. He just left the Judge, I just spoke with a female at the number that he gave me, and she claims that he is at a heart doctor appointment at this time. That's what she claims.
All right, so it has been, I think, 5 or 6 minutes now. It's now 9:24. What I'm going to do at this point is I have another hearing to move to. I will continue to monitor my waiting room to see if he logs back in. Mr. Daly, you're free to go back to your office and we'll give you a call if he does log in again to finish the sentencing. If he doesn't log in and we haven't heard from him by the end of the day, what I'm going to do is issue a bench warrant. Does have a previous failure to appear in this case, so he's not entitled to the 48-hour grace period.
Yeah.
So if we don't have any contact from Mr. Madsen by the end of the day to finish this sentencing, I'm going to issue a bench warrant for his arrest, and we will finish the sentencing from the Lenawee County Jail.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Daly.
Sovereign citizen arguments often focus on identity theories, the belief that the legal system only has authority over a corporate name, not the living person. But courts do not operate on identity philosophy. They operate on jurisdiction and procedure. And in this hearing, the legal path was actually very narrow. The defendant had already pled guilty to possession of narcotics. That plea legally closed the door on most of the arguments he continued trying to make. At sentencing, the court was only deciding the appropriate penalty, not whether the court had authority over him. So every minute spent arguing about statutory citizens, contracts, or the difference between a person and a name did something very specific. It shifted the focus away from the one moment where defendants can actually influence the outcome: sentencing mitigation. Judges look for responsibility, stability, and cooperation when deciding whether probation will work. Instead, the court heard repeated claims that the legal system itself has no authority. Then something even more consequential happened. During the moment the judge was preparing to issue the sentence, the defendant disappeared from the hearing. At that point, the legal issue stopped being philosophy and became compliance. And in the court system, failing to appear is one of the fastest ways to convert a manageable situation into a much more serious one. Because once a bench warrant is issued, the court is no longer negotiating, it is enforcing. And that's the quiet pattern behind many sovereign citizen cases. The arguments feel powerful in theory, but in a courtroom, Outcomes are decided by procedure, timing, and choices made in very specific moments.